News that you hear about overseas is the truth. Because it's still a crime, and there is a lot of homophobia, a lot of transphobia in Uganda, and there are a lot of attacks that always happen. People are imprisoned, they are taken to jail because of being gay. So the situation is not that good. Called Jem Lucha. I'm the executive director of an organization called Femme Alliance Uganda. Femme Alliance is an LGBTQ organization which was founded in 2012. I'm a trans man, and I'm proud to be who I am. During my university time when I was playing for my team, actually my team outed me. They got to know who I was. They didn't know me as a trans person, they knew me as a lesbian person. So it went around the university. They had to expel me from school because of who I am. That actually gave me the courage to come out to to everyone, to my community. My family is not comfortable with me. I only have one young sister of mine who is okay with me, and for her, she says that she will never walk away from me, and she will always accept me the way I am because I'm still part of the family, and no matter what they do, I'm still their blood. So she can't do anything about it, but she will still being with me. The rest of the family is not okay with me, but I mean, this is me, and I don't care about anything else. I'm already out and I'm comfortable.
I'm called Isaac Mugisha. I work with Spectrum Uganda, which is an LGBT MSM based organization. We uh, we specifically provide health and human rights for LGBT persons, but specifically looking at the MSM component and majorly in health, where we look at access to equitable services, including HIV services, including human rights services, legal services, and economic empowerment services. At the same time, I coordinate the Pride in Uganda, Pride events in Uganda since 2016. And in the recent past, we've had a lot of issues happening with Pride, Pride getting cancelled, the government getting involved. So we're still there, we're still not giving up. You don't want to have people affiliated to you because at first we don't even have people who are willing to come out and say, I'm LGBT and I want to belong somewhere. So we believe it's a right of every Ugandan to walk anywhere and get a service. And then also one thing that you must realize is that the community grows every day. people realize themselves each and every day. So registration of members at this moment would not seem like the right thing, because we have a lot of people that are still fighting with their inner selves, trying to discover themselves, trying to understand what LGBT rights mean in Uganda.
You risk a lot by sharing your story, but it's also important for us to be visible as the Ugandan LGBTI community. My name is Rosi Moganzi. I work with Kuchi Times. Kuchi Times is a media platform for the LGBTI community in Uganda. Our work is basically to provide a space where LGBTI Ugandans can share their lived realities, as well as interrogate issues that affect us as a community. Every time media printed stories on LGBTI persons in Uganda, there were negative stories. The negative stories that constantly created an environment for other Ugandans to react violently. When you put out a story that says gay men are raping children, or we are recruiting children in nursery school, of course it invokes a sense of anger in communities that are already against the situation because of the assumed cultural perspective and religious perspective. It is difficult, but this is something that we anticipated, because most LGBTI persons don't occur so openly. But by using by using our connections in other LGBTI organizations as well as online to put out the need for the importance. First of all, we had to first sensitize the community itself on why it is important to have our stories out there. The issues of trans in our community have not yet been answered so well, because people in our community think that a trans person is a gay person. Yes, maybe there are trans people who are gay, but the people in the country don't know about trans, who a trans person is, what a trans person looks like, and so on. Even in the in the LGBT community, trans issues sometimes give them hard time to understand.
I tried to convince myself that I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. Until one day, I was like, you know what, I can't fight myself. You know, it's like fighting nature. So I was like, hey, Sultan, relax. You're this. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'm gay. Damn, it's really hard. Of course, you try to move along with people. They who are connected to it. I mean, fellow gay men, fellow LGBT, trans, and so on, whatsoever. So at least I think it's upon me to make my life here easier by moving with the right people. Something happened some months back. I happened to share. Okay, we were sharing with a fellow gay man, and then out of the blue, some nigga. Okay, some friend of mine popped. He's a completely sweet guy. So he had us, saying words like gay, as stuff to do with gayism. So he was really shocked. He looked at us. Actually, he almost wanted to blackmail us. I mean, it was really strange for him. So trust me, it really affected us. We had to convince him not to to take it further. So basically, it really costed us. Trust me, we had to bribe him. We had to sweet talk him so that he didn't take things seriously. Otherwise, life is fair, but we try to live it because we have no option. We have nowhere to run to.
We not want people to feel like they're isolated. They only get a service from somewhere alone. We want and we believe that the role of service provision in Uganda is for the government. It's not for Spectrum to give services to Ugandans. It's a government role to provide the service to each and every Ugandan. So our role here is to make sure that we train the government people to accept and give a friendly service to whoever comes, irrespective of their sexual orientation. And so that's why we think if there are 50 government hospitals in Uganda, then all the 50 people, all the 50 facilities must understand that LGBT people exist and they deserve a service. And so we only look at how can we orient them to give a service.
There's no a broad way of us ensuring safety for everybody. It's just how it is as the Ugandan situation. The fact that the government refuses to protect LGBTI persons, and it's not just the LGBTI persons, it's a general thing. The Ugandan system is just broken.
it's by denying rights of LGBTI persons, not an isolated incident. We cannot, as an initiative, provide security for our volunteers or our working team. We have to work. We basically work with other LGBTI organizations that work on providing legal services, work on providing support in case of attacks. So it's basically you're volunteering, you're sacrificing. It's actually not volunteering. You sacrifice, and you're constantly every day when you're out there. It's because we're fighting to survive. There is nothing we can do. You have to live with the insecurities of anything can happen any minute, but also the work that we do is very important. So there's no way we can be. You can say we're going to give you a certain way of how to be safe. You cannot. People are just passionate about the work. It's important for us to be out there. So you bear the insecurities. It's just how it is. Are we hopeful? I think we are. First of all, as the Ugandan LGBTI movement, we have done a lot of advocacy. In 12 years of our existence, we have our own clinics, we have our own advocacy, outspoken advocates. We are providing our own legal services. We have done a lot of advocacy that has allowed us to come this far. That's one of the things that the international community does not recognize. We are not the same movement that we were 12 years ago. There is hope. We need to keep pushing. We just need to keep pushing. Every day is about pushing, but there is hope. There is a lot of change. We didn't have pride when we started out as a movement, but we've had pride since 2012. Yes, it comes with a lot of security issues, but the fact that people are willing to come out and say, okay, I am gay and I am here, I am part of this community, but the fact that people are willing to identify, which wasn't happening before, there's a lot of hope. It might not happen in the next 5 years, but 10 years down the road, people will start to recognize that, okay, LGBTI persons are not all these negative perspectives that we had about them. We're doing a lot of work to change this narrative.
There is hope. As she said, there is hope, because if you look at me, I joined the movement in 2010. But according to the time I joined the movement until now, there is a lot of change that has happened. The LGBT movement has stood up, and they have raised their voices. They are always ready to say and talk about everything in the community with no fear. Right now, a lot of people have come out and they are ready to fight for freedom. People from outside Uganda are so welcome, and it gives us more encouragement when we see you people like coming to visit us and encouraging us and giving us hope. This strengthens our work, and we keep on moving. So we need people to always come at our back and back us up and give us morale and give us that energy that we need. Unlike people who stay back at home and sit and relax and just communicate. But if we see you physically when you're here and ready to give us advice and work and tell us on how to approach certain things, that is really very important, and we would love it so much.